Welcome you all. In this session, we will deal with the sedimentary textures. Sedimentary textures have a strong significance in understanding the transportation processes and also the ancient depositional environment. Sedimentary textures refers to the features of the sedimentary rocks that arise from size, shape, and the orientation of the individual sediment grain. The texture of the siliciclastic sedimentary rocks is given by its grain size, grain shape, sorting, grain rounding, and the grain fabric. One by one, we will see about these different sedimentary textures. The first one is the grain size. Generally, the most universally used scale by the sedimentologists to understand the grain size is the wooden Wentworth scale. In the wooden Wentworth scale, he has used some certain values, like for an example, the value of 1 by 256. The grain size of 1 less than 1 by 256 is said to be clay. From 1 by 16 to 1 by 256 is given by silt. From the value of 2 to 1 by 16 is said as sand, which is further classified as coarse sand, medium fine sand. And then the grain size that are more than 2 millimeter is said to be gravel. This is further modified to the phi scale, or we call as logarithmic phi scale. This is given by phi is equal to minus log base 2d. Here d refers to the roughly the diameter of the grains present in the sedimentary rocks. So whatever the diameter of the of a sedimentary clast or the sediment or the sedimentary clast or grains, we can measure it by using some technique, like if it is a clast of a larger size, we can directly measure it using some scale. But if it is of small size, generally of the clay size, we can measure it by using some other techniques, like sometimes using thin section measurements or electron microscope. So we can measure the diameter of the grains, and then we can modify it to the phi values, and the given here in the right hand side we have, it shows the wooden Wentworth scale and also the modified phi scale. So with this phi value we refer to the different grain size. The next one is the sorting. The sorting roughly refers to the distribution of the grain size, or we can say it is a measure of the range of the grain size present in a particular rock. For an example, if in this figure we could see that if all the grains are of similar size, we call it a well sorted rock. And here in this part, like all the grains are of different size, like some are very large class and some are very small fragments, so we call it a very poorly sorted. And here also we use the different scale, like the one with less than 0.35 we call it a well sorted or very well sorted, and the one that has larger value of the standard deviation, that is more than 4.005, we call it as extremely poorly sorted. Or here it is a sorting graph, or what we generally known as the histogram graph, between the weight percentage of the individual grain and the phi size. So if phi size varies much, that is the grain size are of very different size, that is it is poorly sorted. And this phi size, the x-axis refers to the phi size. So if the phi size is very less, that means there is less variation in the grain size, we set it well sorted. For the rest of the different grain texture, we will see it in the next session. So stay tuned and thank you.